Hey, beloved, how's it going? I trust that you're doing well. And if not, then I am super glad that we are talking about altars today because honestly, altars have really helped me through some tough times. And on the flip side, they've also helped me really embrace and appreciate the beauty of life. And as you know, altars are sacred spaces for you to not only celebrate your spirituality, but to also open yourself to receive the divine support that you have in seen and unseen ways. Even though there are so many ways to set an altar, I just want to show you how I like to prepare and set an altar so that you can kind of take what works, pick and choose what you would like to work with and apply it to your practice. And maybe you've never set one before and you might want some guidance on how to do that. And that's so exciting for you to have your first altar. That's such a beautiful thing. Or maybe you have one and you want to freshen it up or create a different one. And so I just want to share what I like to do in case you want to try something new. And honestly, what everything really comes down to is for you to trust your intuition. That's something that I'm always going to support you and encourage you to do. Like there are so many ways to practice spirituality or like embrace more spiritual life and do spiritual practices. Yet what it really comes down to is trusting your intuition and allowing your spirit to guide you. Yeah, because there is a reason that you get these intuitive hits, nudges, certain things pop out to you. Oh, maybe, a certain crystal or whatever needs to be used instead of the one that this person recommends. Like, I wholeheartedly trust your intuition and I support you in following that guidance. So yeah, but before we get into all of the altar details, in case we haven't met, my name is Cynthia Gutierrez, and I am the creator of Embodied Ritual. And I'm here to guide you through spiritual embodiment so that you can truly remember who you are while leading a vibrantly healthy, sacred, and sovereign life. And if you're new to my work, it would be super awesome to keep in touch. So you're welcome to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can click the bell and be reminded of the newly released videos that I'm going to be putting out every single week. Okay, cool. So I'm going to come back to the importance of designated spaces, right? And it's pretty obvious, like when we start looking at like the bedroom, to have a proper place for you to sleep, right? And have a proper space to, it's nice and comfortable to have a place to eat your dinner, or to have like a table that's designated for your creation, your creative projects or whatever it is, right? Even like a yoga mat, like it's nice to, when you're going into your yoga practice, your asanas, to have that area where you can totally drop in and just dive deep into that practice. And so the same rings true for your spiritual practice, okay, and your spiritual path. It's super crucial for you to have a sacred space that you can connect with your higher power or your creator, your God, however you see the one who created you. And I've come to find that when I didn't have an altar, I didn't have these sacred tools or spaces for me to connect with Great Spirit, and that's how I refer to my higher power. It felt really, really easy to be disconnected from my spirituality. I sometimes even forgot to like acknowledge and connect with my creator. And so it became really easy for me to get bogged down by like the mundane things that are happening in our everyday life. And so, if you don't have an altar right now, or you don't have these like little things like sacred tools or crystal or an image, like I think that why I've always loved how even my family, we grew up Catholic and they always had a cross, there was always a cross or something, or like Mother Mary somewhere. And it's just like, that always kind of stood out to me, of like the symbol and all the meaning behind it, that sacred anchor point. It's so important if you're coming deepening your spiritual practice. It's so important to have these pockets or spaces or places to dive into your spiritual practice and your connection with your creator. Okay, so that's the purpose of this video, is to guide you into creating a proper home for your spiritual practice, so that you can establish a good foundation for your relationship with the divine. Okay, so we're going to get into all of this step by step. All right, so first things first is that when you feel the need to create an altar, it's really important to decide what purpose the altar is for and where it's going to be. Okay. Now, if you've never had an altar before, I would suggest like having a personal one. Like, this is just for me and my connection with the divine, with my creator, right? Or your higher self, for your spirit guides, like however that is most comfortable for you. Another altar that you can create is for your ancestors. Another one is for prosperity, or maybe your relationships, like your relationship with your partner or your parents, or even your community. Let's say, you have like a whole community and you want to connect with them on a more energetic level. That's another idea. Or even seasonal. Like, honestly, like I have my mom, she totally, at every holiday, like right now, her Valentine's decorations are out, and like the Christmas and the whole, like all of the major holidays that happen. When I see people decorating, I totally see that as like a like an altar. Like, this is the essence, the energy that they are creating in their home. And so, that can be another thing, like for the fall, for the winter, for the spring, for the summer, you can create these seasonal altars to be able to work with the energy and the guides and guardians of those elementals. So, so again, when you feel you are ready to create an altar, or to even freshen up the one that you already have, you can pick the area that feels best to you. Okay, and keep in mind of any pets. Of course, you know how cats, they do the thing where they're like, they knock things off the table and stuff. Like, when I create crystal grids, I have to like make sure it's on like a plate and I glue it down, because also I have a toddler. So keep in mind, if you've got any pets, any kids, any high traffic areas, if there's a lot of people walking in and out, because honestly, everything really matters. Okay. And when people's energies are coming in and out, or people are like putting their stuff around the area, like, I just would encourage you to be mindful, so that there's little to no contact between you and that altar. Unless you're maybe, I've just got an idea of like creating an altar for like me and my daughter. What if we have a little play altar that we can like create together and put beautiful things there, little memories that we shared together. So that can be kind of like a playful altar that you can then allow, people or kids, whatever, to be a part of it. So that's one thing. And once you decide what kind of altar it is and where it's going to be, then you can begin to gather what you'd like to place on your altar. Okay. And honestly, you don't have to have everything that you want before you start creating it. Like, maybe have like 3 things, something to just get it started, so that you can at least begin to create the sacred space. And then if you want to add more later as time goes on, like that's super cool. But don't let like all the things hold you back. If you want more there, you can start with what you have and then build up on it as time goes on. Okay. Of course, trusting your intuition with what you feel is, needed and was going to support you in relation to your altar and what it's for. Now, personally, I always love to represent the 4 elements in every altar that I make. Okay. In relation to air, fire, water, and earth. I work with the elementals. That's just a personal thing. You may or may not. If you'd like to, you're welcome to, but like, to me, the elementals bring their own streams of energy. And so I like to acknowledge them and celebrate them and work with them. So in relation to air, you can work with herbs that you are going to burn to be able to use the smoke to represent the air, right? Or you can use feathers. That's another, winged animal, their feathers. That's another great way to represent the air element. Fire, you can use a candle. I mean, a candle, okay? And you can even color coordinate if you want to get all super specific. Every color can represent a certain thing, or if there's one particular candle that's like so special to you, or it has like a special symbol on it or something, like bring that in to represent fire. You can work with essential oils for water. That's something that I always love to do. Or maybe you have like a hydrosol spray, or there's like a special water-based spray that you have to represent water, or even like a seashell. A lot of people use, what is it? I can't believe I'm spacing on it. Not like a conch, but which is another thing, like any kind of shell that can represent water. Okay. And then for the earth, you can use crystals. You can bring in a little flower, like a plant. You can have like a bowl with soil. You can also include other herbs to represent earth. Okay. Now, once you have the things that you want to begin your altar with, you can prepare the sacred space. Okay. And what I mean by preparing is cleaning and energetically clearing the space. So one is, of course, cleaning the surface, right? You're going to completely take everything out of the area that your altar is going to be on. Maybe you use something to clean the surface with, right? And I always like to use like plant-based cleaning supplies. I try to keep it as natural as possible. And I even have like various, like I use like agua de Florida, if you're familiar with that, or even like a white sage hydrosol, whatever. You can use that to clean the surface, take everything off. And then you can go into energetically clearing the space, okay? So you can use various things for this. One is plants. Now you can work with white sage. You can work with mugwort, which is also known as black sage. You can work with palo santo or copal. Those are like the common four that you can use for the smoke to cleanse the energy of the area. Okay. Now, some of them are herbs. You can light them up really quick. Like Palo Santo is a tree. That's a bark. So you can light that up. Copal, it's a tree resin. So you're going to need like, what is that? A charcoal disc to burn it. Okay. But you can also use hydrosol sprays. I have a good friend named Dalia. I think her company is Bruja Craft. Okay. And if you're interested in looking up her stuff, she has some really great hydrosol sprays of like white sage and rose and stuff that's just so lovely. So you're always welcome to DM me and so that I can connect you with her products. She's a really great friend of mine. And so I always want to support my friends that are creating, the stuff that they love. Now, another thing besides plants, you can work with salt. Okay, putting a bowl of salt in the center of the space that you're putting your altar on is a really great way to cleanse the area. You can work with sound. All right, you can look up frequencies like Solfeggio frequencies on YouTube and play the sound for like, I don't know, like 15, 20 minutes. You can play it however long you want to help clear the air, the energy. You can, if you have tuning forks, if you have a singing bowl, if you have a shaker, shakers are really great ways to kind of disperse the energy. You can use chimes, bells, a drum. That's really up to you. Another thing you can use are crystals. Like the two that I highly suggest is selenite or black kyanite. Okay, they're kind of like the opposing clearing crystals. Selenite is like pure, bright, divine light, and you don't ever need to clear it itself. And then black kyanite, it's like it completely takes out the negative energy that is within the space. And those two you don't have to clear ever. Okay. And then to keep it really, really simple, if you don't have any of these things, do not worry, because you can always use the power of your intention. And honestly, straight up, tools are fun. Tools, working with plants and crystals and sound and all this stuff is really, really fun. Yet they are not the medicine. Okay, you are. You have the power with your intention, with your voice, with your body. You are an electromagnetic being, and your intention and your voice and the way that you work with your energy is more than enough to clear the area. So you can hold like a cleansing prayer or intention, however you want to call it, to cleanse the space, even with your hands, I suggest, to then clear the space and neutralize it. Okay. Um, so yeah, those are a lot of things that you can choose. Pick one, pick two, three, whatever. But what it really comes down to, if you don't have anything and you're on the fly or something, just use your voice, use your intention, and work with your hands. All right. So after this space is prepared, you can then begin to place your items as you intuitively feel. Okay. So set your altar that feels best to you. Now that's really fun. I love it. You can set it however you want. If you'd like, you can also work with the coordinating the elementals, okay, in the directions of east, south, west, and north. All right. So what you can do is, you have your table, and in the east side of the table, you put your air element. On the south side of the table, you put your fire element. On the west side of the table, you put your water element. And on the north side of the table, you put your earth element. Okay. And that's like it creates a circle of these elementals that kind of hold the energies there. And you don't have to coordinate with the directions of the table. You can put them however you want. You can put like air over here, earth over there, whatever. Like, honestly, this is where I just want to encourage you to trust, like, oh, this feels good. This feels good. It doesn't have to stay that way forever. Maybe in a week, you're like, you know what, I'm going to add this. And this doesn't really, because this is coming in, maybe I'm going to move this over here. So have fun with it. Okay. Now, once your altar is complete and you've got everything set, of course, as time goes on, you can add more, take something away. Once your altar is set, you're going to connect with it through intention and prayer. Okay. So this is kind of like the completion of this creation phase. You can speak your intention and prayer for the purpose of the sacred space and connect with your creator. Okay, so you can simply use your hands and use your voice again to, in a way, it's like consecrating. Sorry, I think you can hear my cat. I don't know what's going on with her, but I'm sure she'll be okay. Sometimes if she knows people's are in the room and no one's there playing, she'll be like, somebody pet me. She probably can hear me and is just like meowing at the door. So sorry about that. But anyway, what was I going to say? Yes. So again, using your intention, your prayer, you're connecting with all of the elements with the purpose of your altar to then give thanks, give gratitude, and, with your intention, setting that space and connecting with your higher power to help consecrate. Okay. This is the process of consecrating, dedicating this sacred space to what it's meant for. Okay. So, if you do have all of the 4 elements in that space, you can begin in the east. So how I work, okay, how I was taught, which is related to the Lakota medicine wheel, is beginning in the east, and you move clockwise to open a space. So beginning in the east, connecting with each element, then to the south, to the west, to the north. And once you've connected with each element and end at the north, you're going to set the intention to speak a prayer, so that you can bring in your higher self, you can bring in your spirit guides if you work with them, and your creator, and having your intentions and their energy help create this sacred space with you, to dedicate it, right? You can also open a sacred circle to hold an even tighter container. All right. So about sacred circles, I made a video a couple weeks ago about it. You're welcome to watch that one. I break it down again step by step on how to do that. Also, you can DM me if you'd like to join the free Sacred Circle workshop, where I'm going to be teaching you all of the fine details in real time and have you experience what it's like to be held within a sacred circle. And then I'll release it, of course. And then you can answer any questions that you have about it. Okay. So keep in mind, I'm going to have that recording of the workshop available to purchase in the future once it's complete. But if you want to get in on it for free, then I suggest just sending me a DM to put you on the list so that you can join me live. Okay. And then we can work on it together. But yeah, if you want to check out the video, you're welcome to. It's on my YouTube channel or my Facebook. You know, you'll be able to find it. It's called, I think I have a thing here. So on YouTube, it's called How to Open and Close a Sacred Circle. Okay. And sacred circles are really beautiful because it really helps set an energetic container, a boundary, to be really clear with what's allowed in the container and what's not allowed. Okay. And I feel like that's when we're working with the universe and the spirit realm, you've got everything. Okay. You are opening and accessing all sorts of energies. And some of them may not be, may not. Some are not in the service for the highest and best good. Going to be real. Okay. So when we have the skill and do the practice of setting the energetic container and stating our boundaries, it makes our practice really clean, really clear. Okay. So I'm going to hide that. But yeah, hit me up if you're interested. Okay. Now, when your intention in prayer is complete, your altar is consecrated and it's ready to enjoy. All right. So once it's set and you can release your guides and guardian, thank you so much. Thank you for helping or being here with me and creating my altar. You can then start to visit it and be with it. And different ways that you can connect with your altar space is to connect with your creator, right? Your spirit guides or your higher self, to meditate, to have conversation, whatever it is, however you want to create with your, however you want to connect with your higher power. Another idea is to receive some guidance. So you might also, again, meditate with your altar or next to your altar. You might pull cards if you're into tarot or oracle or something like that. If you've got a pendulum, sometimes just lighting a candle at my altar and just like being with myself, sitting in silence and stillness. I'm not exactly meditating, but I'm just listening. I mean, some will say that's the whole point of meditation, but I feel like sometimes I just kind of need to slow down, pause, and silence myself and come into stillness to really be able to hear my intuition and receive anything that my guides want me to know about. Okay. Another idea is to celebrate. Yeah, if new opportunities come up or if you want to express gratitude, dance, sing, these are all beautiful ways that you can engage with your altar and celebrate what's going on in your life. That we don't do that enough. I'm just going to say it. I know it's a blanketed statement, but honestly, when it comes down to it, we all need to celebrate more. Okay. It's so common for us to kind of be like, oh, this could have been better. Or, I wish I did this differently. And honestly, I'm speaking for myself. Oh, hey, Katie, what's up? I'm glad you're liking it. You're so welcome. It's such a pleasure. This stuff's really important, honestly. And it's changed my life for the best. It really has. And I don't think I'll ever live without an altar. And sometimes I create it on the go. It's so cool when I go camping and stuff. It's just fun. So yeah, celebrating, dancing, also expressing gratitude. This is a big one. When we ask of things from our guides, from spirit, from our higher selves, it's so important to continue to give back. When we want to receive, it's so important to give. Okay. So having a moment of offering a glass of water, offering a little portion of your food, offering some herbs on the burning charcoal, it's so important to give back to the spirit realm and to your guides and higher self, so that this reciprocated energy is in constant flow. Okay, that's so, so important. Another idea to work with your altar is to move through denser emotions. Okay, I've had some good cries at my altar. Like, I've broken down at my altar. I've held myself in a sacred circle and I've processed deep emotions, deep anger, even. Yeah, like I've been through it all, all the highs and lows in my next to my altar. And it really, I feel like because I'm in that sacred space, it helps me really transmute and integrate the medicine of all that's going on, regardless if it's high energy or low energy, positive, negative, whatever. It's all energy, right? So that can really, really help kind of move through some of the more uncomfortable stuff going on. You can journal there. You can talk through what you're experiencing. You can just honestly simply be held within that sacred space, just to be seen, be held, having a feeling of being understood. Yeah, I think that has helped me a lot at my altar space. And of course, you can do rituals and ceremonies, your new moon, full moon, whatever it is, equinoxes, solstices, like, yes, do all the things, right? So yeah, doing rituals and ceremonies, super important. And honestly, anytime you feel called, anytime you even just want to sit next to it, just light a candle, just sometimes I just gaze over my altar and just like, yeah. Because again, these altar spaces, these beautiful designated areas really helps us invoke and remember the sacredness of life. And that just really helps me feel more aligned and focused on that North Star of my deeper purpose, of the sacredness of why I'm here. So yeah, altars have brought have really brought my spiritual practice to life. When I didn't have one, it was just like something that was kind of on the back of my mind, and I was already so distracted with all of the other things going on. But once I created an altar, it really helped me anchor in and remember on a daily to be like, oh yes, like pray, set my intentions, connect with my higher power. And really it just helped me not get so bogged down. Yeah. And say those altars have become like a really great place of solace to help me feel supported and initiating and tending to and manifesting my deep seated intentions. And so, yeah. And I think, so I have like two altars right now, just about one as a personal thing and one for kind of like my business. It's not like dedicated to my business, but it's by the area that I do my work. Like it's in the room that I'm in right now. So like, it helps me just kind of focus in on the energetics of what I'm doing. But I'm thinking of creating another one, and it's going to be dedicated to my mother. Mostly the relationship between me and my mother, because for some reason, for many reasons, we've had kind of a clashing growing up. And one thing that I love about altars is like, it's really helped me be able to give back and do what I feel most comfortable in helping heal the energetics within relationships in general, but especially my mom's. When I want to like express something to her or even just talk to her in a heart to heart way, like I feel like this altar can really help me connect on a soul to soul level, what I want to say, because maybe sometimes, it's not that easy to say it in face to face, or I may not get received well, or, some things I do are kind of weird and different. I'm totally the rainbow sheep in my family, and I own it now. Now I'm like, woo, waving that flag around, and some of them even come to me for some of this spiritual practice for me to help move energy in their home or whatever. But yeah, I just feel like sometimes when I don't feel ready to be with my mother in person. I feel like this altar that's dedicated to like the relationship with me and her, and really the maternal line of my maternal lineage, also to help heal that. That's just really important. And so that could be another idea for you if you want to create an altar for one of your parents or something like that. And so, yeah, you can see how altars are a really great way to tend to so many different areas in our lives. And one thing about altars, it's all about the energetics. Okay. And I feel like when things really show up in energy, and then they come down the line down into this physical realm to then manifest and show us and reflect what's going on, right? And so that's why I felt really called to share this video, because it really hits two of the 5 pillars of embodied ritual. And the first one's pretty obvious. It's pillar 3 of ritual and ceremony, where you are immersing yourself in spiritual practice and strengthening your connection with your creator, as well as embracing the sacredness of life. Okay. And it just really helps remind us of our spirituality. And then the other pillar that it relates to is first pillar, which is whole self love and care. That holistically tends to your body, mind, and spirit, so that you can carry your transformation from the inside out. Okay, in ways that best serve you, right? Like I said in the beginning, like whatever I'm sharing here in this video, take what works. Maybe you want to do some of it and not all of it, and that's okay. Like not everything's going to be for everyone. So work with what's best for you, and do what you need to do. I encourage you, I support you in doing what you need to do to really tend to yourself and love yourself and care for yourself. And I see it as like physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And altars are one way that just kind of hit all of them and in one way or another. And so, yeah. One thing I want to say is that was a whole lot that I just went through. And I would love to summarize really quickly to remind you what I just went through. So really fast. Step number 1 in preparing and setting an altar space. When you feel the need to create an altar, decide where it's going to be and what it's going to be dedicated for. Okay. And once this is decided, you're going to gather your initial things to start your altar. Okay. Step number 2, when you're ready to prepare the sacred space, you're going to clean and energetically clear the space, right? So again, clean the area physically, right? Get everything out of the way, clean it up, and then energetically clear it with your either intention, with plants, with salt, sounds, or crystals, whatever feels good for you. And then step number 3, after the space is prepared, you're going to begin to place your items as you intuitively feel. Okay. Now, once everything's all set, then step 4 is connecting with your altar through intention or prayer. All right. And it could just be you and the altar. You can call in your higher self. You can call in your spirit guides. You can call in, your creator, and consecrate the space to, in a sense, I feel like it's activating it, right? You're like, all right, this is it. Boom. It starts here. And so it is. And that's pretty much it. Those are all the steps. And once your altar is consecrated, then you're ready to enjoy and whatever feels best for you. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, if you're interested in learning how to hold yourself in a protective container that really sets that energetic boundary for your spiritual work, especially these energetic containers, they can be at your altar, they can be on the go. You might do it with another friend that's like, I want to do a new moon ritual. Like, can I join you? And you're like, yeah, sure. Like, it's nice to know how to set a sacred container for you and anybody else that's going to be a part of it. Okay. So if you're interested in learning how to in real time, I can walk you step by step and help you experience a sacred circle for yourself. You're welcome to DM me so that you can join the free Sacred Circle workshop. Okay. Again, you can also check out the video that I made about it on YouTube. And that is going to take you through all the steps about it as well. But if you really want to like share any questions about it and you want me to work, help work it out with you in real time, then definitely send me a DM. Okay, direct message me. In the description of the video, I put my Facebook link so that you can DM me on Facebook or you can DM me on Instagram. So yeah. All right, y'all, that's all I've got for you today. So yeah, if you have any other questions about altars, you're welcome to pop them in now, or you can DM me as well and leave a comment or whatever. And yeah, that's all I got. I hope, excuse me, you are having a beautiful, beautiful day. Oh, and happy Aquarius season. It is the first day of Aquarius season at the time of this recording. So really exciting times in the age of Aquarius, right? So yeah, all right. Take care. Much, much love. And I'll catch you later. Blessings.